Everybody, Kelly here. Welcome to another episode of the Author's Mic. So today I thought we would keep up the theme that I have going for April, talking about the whole indie author journey. And so today I want to talk about something that I don't think I defined when I started off as an indie author. And honestly, I don't know if most of us define this, right? And that is, what kind of author are you trying to be? Now, I think that when people hear the phrase indie author, it can kind of sound like we're all doing the same thing, right? Like there's just one path, and we're all out here trying to figure out how to walk that one path. But honestly, I don't think that's how it works. Independent authorship is actually a wide road, right? With so many different destinations. Now, some people write a book because they have a story that they need to tell, right? Maybe it's personal and they have to get it out there. Maybe it's creative. Maybe it's something that they have been carrying around inside for years, right? They write the book, they publish it, they share it with the world, and that chapter of their life is complete. They feel like they've accomplished everything they need to accomplish. And I think that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. And then for others, that first book is just the beginning, right? That publishing that book opened a door to speaking opportunities. It opened up a door to workshops and courses and coaching and consulting and other creative work, right? And that book now had become a tool to help them build something bigger. Nothing wrong with that, right? Some people discover that they're interested in the publishing side of things, right? They start thinking about how books actually come into the world. They start thinking about infrastructure and maybe helping others get their work out there and creating platforms and communities. And there's nothing wrong with that, y'all. But guess what? Those are all very different journeys, and none of them are wrong. But I honestly think the confusion happens when authors start comparing themselves to someone who is playing a completely different game, right? So let me put it this way. A hobby writer, somebody who's just writing for fun or maybe got that one book out there and they're cool with that, but maybe they feel pressure to market like a full-time entrepreneur, right? Or maybe someone writing that personal memoir, they might start comparing their sales numbers to someone who has been building a full-blown publishing platform and business. Someone building a platform might feel stuck because they're following the advice designated for someone who only wanted to publish maybe one book. So when you step back and look at it, you start to realize that the problem often isn't the author, right? It's not you, it's not me. The problem is that we never bothered to look or take the time to define the lane that we wanted to be in. And I think that's a huge part of the journey that a lot of us really don't think about it, right? Because you'll hear a lot of different titles in this space, right? You can call yourself a writer, nothing wrong with that. Lots of writers out there. You can call yourself an author. Yeah. You can call yourself an indie author. You can call yourself an entrepreneur. You can call yourself an authorpreneur, right? You can call yourself a publisher. You can call yourself an indie publisher. You can call yourself a hybrid publisher. Sometimes people throw those titles around all the time. And sometimes we start collecting titles before we've even stopped to ask ourselves what we're actually trying to do. At the end of the day, the question isn't what you call yourself. That's really not the point I'm trying to make here. The question is, what are you trying to build? Are you someone who loves storytelling and wants to share meaningful stories with readers? Or are you someone who wants to build a body of work over time and have many, many, many books out there? Are you someone who sees yourself, or maybe who sees your book as the beginning of something bigger, like speaking or teaching or building a business? Are you someone who maybe wants to create opportunities for other authors and writers? All of those paths exist in the world of indie authorship, but they lead to very different decisions about how you spend your time, your energy, and your resources. And I'll be honest with you, this is something that I had to figure out too, because I go back and forth. Because when I first started, on the title thing, I had to say, well, was I an indie author? Was I an indie publisher? Was I building a publishing company? What exactly am I doing? And the truth is that I realized that those labels don't necessarily fit me. I'll be honest with you. As far as being an indie author, I have two books out there and I haven't had the opportunity to really write like I would like to outside of my children's book. And that project still is not even out into the world yet, right? So I don't know if calling myself an indie author, well, it still kind of fits because I do have two books out there, right? But I'm not actively writing anything right now, which is sad to me, but I've been building, right? So I'm not really an indie publisher because I haven't published really anything, y'all, besides myself. So I don't think indie publisher is accurate. So I had to kind of figure out where my energy was going. And I thought, well, man, Kelly, you're kind of building ecosystems, right? Between the Author's Mic and BTA Friday, Breaking the Algorithm, and now TrustBridge, and the work, which is the work of connecting authors to bookstores, podcasts, book clubs, and more, I realized that my work was focused on building connections and creating spaces where authors and readers can meet. So instead of forcing myself into a label that didn't fit right, I started thinking about my journey differently, right? And maybe I'm not just an author, and maybe I'm not just a publisher. Maybe I'm an ecosystem builder. And that realization changed the way that I look at the work that I'm doing. Because once you start to understand your lane, then you stop trying to do everything. And then you start focusing on the things that actually align with your purpose. Now, I don't know what that looks like for you, but that's exactly what I want you to think about today. Not which title sounds the most impressive, what you can call yourself, and not which label that the internet says that you should use either. But what are you actually building? Because once you answer that question, then the rest of your author journey becomes to look more clearer. And then, you know what? I think too, once you answer that question, you'll find that you're going to stop comparing yourself to authors who are maybe chasing a completely different goal, right? And then you start filtering advice through your own purpose. And you begin building a path that actually fits the reason why you decided to publish the book in the first place. So today, you guys, I want to leave you with this one simple question. What kind of indie author are you becoming? All right. Let me give you my laundry list of things before I let you go. If you are a creative in this space and you'd like to come on the Author's Mic, I have guests every Monday. I would love to share this platform with you. All you got to do is go to my website, go to the Be a Guest tab, fill out the information. You are a guest. It is truly that simple. If you are on your author journey, I have a guide on my website. It's called So You Want to Write a Book. It's free. Go download it. I just put together information that I thought would be helpful, and I thought maybe you could help, it would help you too. Go get it, it's free. Hopefully it will help you. If you are into supporting me as an author, I have two books out there, Wait for It and You Sound White. I have both the print books here. I will ship them to you at no charge. I will sign them. I've got some free stuff to give you along with it. But you know what? You can get them wherever good books are sold. And again, if you choose to get the books, you know what? I appreciate you. And if you don't, that's okay too, y'all. I get it, right? I totally get it. And then, we also have, I also started TrustBridge, which is my curated introduction service. So if you are seeking visibility, you want to get in front of book clubs, podcasts, bookstores, and more, this is a partner network that I have curated over time. This took me a long time to build, but I will do all the heavy lifting for you. I'll create the media kit. I'll do all the follow-up. All you got to do is sit around, look good, and keep writing those fantastic books. And then lastly, we have a book club. It's called the IRS, the Indie Reader Society. All we do is support indie authors. You can join us two ways, right? You can join us as a reader. My goal for 2026 is to grow this book club as big as I can. Why, Kelly? Not for me, because every time we pick up an indie author's book, think how many eyes that we put on that person's book and how many readers that book has, and it's phenomenal, and that's how we build community. And then you can also pitch us as an author. We don't know about your book if you don't tell us, so tell us and, we'll consider it. Why not? All right. So, you guys, today, again, I wanted to ask you that one question. What kind of indie author are you becoming? I'll catch you next time. Bye.